am Aiza Televico-Ampur, and together with my partner, Nele Cadosalitero, we will be discussing the Lesson 6 Performance Task in Botany CAF2. Number 1 question. Based on the discussion, what is the difference between light-dependent and light-independent reactions? In the light-dependent reaction, energy from sunlight is absorbed by chlorophyll and that energy is converted into stored chemical energy. While in the light-independent reactions, the chemical energy harvested during the light-dependent reaction drives the assembly of sugar molecules from carbon dioxide. Number 2 question. How are protons absorbed utilized in the first stage of photosynthesis? When a plant is exposed to light, protons of appropriate wavelength will streak and be absorbed by the pigment protein complexes arrayed on the thylakoid membranes. When this happens, the energy of the proton is transferred to the pigment molecule, thus causing the pigment to go into a electronically excited state.
To summarize the process of light reactions and Calvin cycle. So the goal of the light-dependent reactions of photosynthesis is to collect energy from the sun and break down water molecules to produce ATP and NADPH. These two energy storing molecules are then used in the light-independent reactions wherein chloroplast and chlorophyll is the pigment that absorbs sunlight. Complexes, which is what we call the photosystem 1 and the photosystem 2. So the series of light-dependent reactions begin when sunlight hits a molecule of chlorophyll located in photosystem 2. This excites an electron which leaves the chlorophyll molecule and travels along the thylakoid membrane via a series of carrier proteins which is known as the electron transport chain. On the other hand, the hydrogen ions build up in high concentration in the lumen of the thylakoid. They pass through an enzyme called ATP synthase, and their movement provides the energy needed to add a third phosphate to ADP, or what we call the adenosine diphosphate, to form ATP and adenosine triphosphate. This energy storing molecule powers many cellular processes. In fact, the glucose made during photosynthesis is broken down to produce more ATP later during cellular respiration. Now let's have the process of Calvin cycle. So ATP and NADPH move from the thylakoid into the stroma where the energy they store is used to power the light-independent reactions. The light-independent reactions, which is what we call the Calvin cycle, are used stored chemical energy from the light-dependent reactions to fix CO2 or the carbon dioxide and create a product that can be converted into glucose. The ultimate goal of the light-independent reactions of photosynthesis is to assemble a molecule of glucose. And this is the part of the photosynthesis that requires the CO2 or the carbon dioxide the plants get from the air. Then the energy carried from the light-dependent reactions make their contribution, and ATP and NADPH given each 3-phosphoglycerate a hydrogen atom, which creating two molecules of the simple sugar Ge3 or the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Ultimately, these two molecules of Ge3 are used to build one molecule of glucose. And this part of the light-independent reactions is typically referred to as reduction or reducing the sugar because electrons are added. So, it is important to note that the Calvin cycle typically uses 6 molecules of carbon dioxide at a time. This means that 12 molecules of Ge3 are generated. Next questions, what are the byproducts of light-dependent and light-independent reactions? So the light reaction is a light-dependent reaction in which occurs in the chloroplast of the mesophyll cells of the leaves. The chloroplast is a double membrane cell organelle that consists of stacked disc-like structures which is known as the thylakoids. Chlorophyll is required for the process and is present on the membrane of these thylakoids, and this is where the light reaction occurs. In addition, the light reaction is the first stage of the photosynthesis process in which solar energy is converted into chemical energy in the form of ATP and NADPH. So the overall byproducts of light-dependent reactions are the ATP, NADPH, and the O2. On the other hand, the overall inputs or byproducts of light-independent reactions are the carbon dioxide, NADPH, and ATP. So the final output of the light-independent reaction is the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. This is Meletero and